Hi there, I'm Lee Brainerd. Welcome to Soothkeep. Today I'd like to encourage the hearts of the watchmen with a Rapture Nugget. We are going to look at 2 Corinthians 4:17, which is one of my favorite passages. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Now let's look at the word affliction. Every believer has affliction. We read in Acts 14:22, we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom. And we also read in Philippians 1:29, it has been granted to us on behalf of Christ not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake. In modern slang, suffering or trials come with the territory. It's not possible to follow Christ in this Christ-hating world, in this cursed world, in this fallen world, without having trials and tribulations. Now, God allows us to enter into the trials and tribulations of Christ. This is a privilege. It's an honor. It's not merely sorrow and pain. I want you to think about what it costs men in the world when they side with Trump and they share in his hatred. Now, take that concept and make the leader perfect, infinite, omniscient, and omnipotent. And now raise the value of the cause from a temporal cause to an eternal cause. I think you get the drift. Now, moreover, God's tender heart is watching over all of our trials. Let me read to you the 3rd verse from the old hymn, The Refiner's Fire. Should we think it please such a loving heart for to cause us a moment's pain, 'tis not so but that through the present cross he should see an eternal gain. So he waited there with a watchful eye and a love that is strong and sure, and his gold did not suffer a bit more heat than was needed to make it pure. Now let's look at the phrase light affliction. It's painful if human beings minimize or marginalize our trials or our sorrows, our pains, our sufferings. It's painful if they don't seem to empathize with us. And now we see God calling our trials light affliction. Really? Persecution, scorn, ridicule, jail for some people. Some parts of the world, they suffer beatings. They might even suffer death. For much of the history of the church, there was believers burned at the stake. They were tortured. They were beaten to death. They were brutalized. They were fed to the lions. They were beheaded. How is this light affliction? Folks, this isn't mind-bending, brainwashing manipulation. This is simply comparing the afflictions to the coming glory. They are light in comparison to the insanely massive, infinite, eternal reward. On the temporal level, men will suffer through a lot of agony and pain to win their Ranger tab, or their Special Forces flash, or their Navy SEALs trident. They think it's worthwhile because of the sense of accomplishment. There's a glory that's involved in this. And folks, when you see your infinite, eternal weight of glory on the other side of the rapture, you're going to look back at your trials and you're going to think, that really was nothing compared to this. How about the phrase, but for a moment? Suffering seems to make time slow down. But we can speed the clock up by getting some heavenly perspective. Your 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 years of trials are a drop in the ocean compared to eternity. In some sweet day, when you have been in sweet everlasting for 1,000,000 years, you're going to look back on this time and just wonder why you ever whined and whimpered as much as you did. I like to tell people we have one short life to be a good soldier. We have one long eternity to be a fulfilled human being. Let's finally look at this line here. Works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Notice the word works. Every sacrifice of time and money and pride and self-seeking earns an infinite reward like a pinball stuck on a 1,000-point bumper. Ding, 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 ding. Learn to look at your trials like the best investment in the universe. How about the word glory? Think about the things that come to mind when you think of glory. Royalty, extreme wealth, extreme privilege, extreme honor. The best in homes and jets and yachts and exclusive clubs and vacation homes and restaurants. Now take all this concept that you're thinking of on the earthly level, and purify it and elevate it and multiply it by heavenly glory. I think you get where I'm going. How about the word exceeding? I can wrap my brain around the word exceeding. I can picture 10,000 train cars full of cool stuff. I can even picture 100,000 train cars of cool stuff. But I can't wrap my brain around the word infinite. My thinkulator starts to smoke and short circuit. Folks, the poorest saint in glory will be wealthier than the 10,000 wealthiest men in the history of the world, all in one pile and multiplied by 1,000,000. You are going to have an infinite inheritance in an infinite universe with infinite time, infinite energy, infinite resources, and infinite opportunity. So in conclusion, be encouraged. Learn to see your trials in light of eternity. God is not asking you to pretend that your trials aren't trials. He's not asking you to count your trials pure joy with some mind-bending mental gymnastics. He's simply asking you to bear in mind that your trials, when you get into eternity, your trials looking back are going to pale in comparison to the glory that's going to be revealed to you. Romans 8:18. Folks, he is going to make it worth your while. So keep your eyes on the prize.